we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, ready to wrap up the day. I've got my list of things to do. I'm sure you have your list of things to do. After we spent a couple days up in Albuquerque, and I know folks disappointed we didn't come back with some state championships, but teams played hard and represented well, and we've got a lot of congratulations to the seniors that'll be graduating, and we got a lot of kids coming back. Should be fun and exciting next year.
Yeah, always. Artesia just, through all activities, always has extremely high expectations. So disappointing when you don't reach those, but at the same time, the good year by both softball and baseball and track. Track was up there while we were there as well, and I think the girls might have finished fourth in track, so just outside of getting a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, good couple, 3-4 days of some good competitive games in Albuquerque. Or I guess Rio Rancho is where we ended up. Our road ended was in Rio Rancho, but and started. So
both baseball and softball ended at Rio Rancho. So.
Right.
Baseball at Rio Rancho High and softball at Cleveland High. So.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing I really ranted on was the fact that they unplugged us at the end of the game and didn't care that they had unplugged us,
Yeah, and what was even more interesting to me was he refused to let us just use the normal plug-in in the building.
Yeah.
Because they had a big, NFHS had that big multi-plug, which is the same thing we use because you got a lot of stuff you got to plug in.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had unplugged his and then just tossed our, unplugged us, of course. And you went up, and then he told you no, and so you come back down to try to figure out another way to get on. And while you were doing that, I went back up and said, hey, can't we just plug into the building? And he said no.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Because
he wasn't with the school.
No, and just one deal down, there were other people plugged in and stayed plugged in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were locking the doors and shutting the windows so fast that we couldn't have just plugged in. So, yeah, that was disappointing.
Yeah.
But I think, you wouldn't think that you or I or we would have to be, but really I guess that's what it boils down to. We've just got to tell them every little thing. Otherwise, their people don't know, they don't care.
Right, right.
Because that wasn't that was just a kid, a 20-something that was running the camera.
With the NFHS network. It had nothing to do with Cleveland. He wasn't part of the NMAA or anything like that.
No, he was just a young guy that was an employee, and he was told when it's over, pull everything out and put it in boxes and get out of there.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he didn't know who we were. He didn't care who we were. His job was to pull everything out there and get out of there.
That's right.
And even if we were asking him, he just told me flat, no, he told you no first.
That's right.
And then I went back up while you were getting back online.
Right.
Or on air.
Mm-hmm.
And said, well, look, I'll just plug into the plug-in, not your stuff.
Yeah.
And he said no. So, yeah, disappointing, but too bad.
Yep.
You with your technological guru, you got us on, and
we finished up. That's right. Then the Lovington people called me Saturday, and they said, "Did y'all see a microphone sitting up there?" I said, "I did." You did? You didn't do anything with it? I said, "It wasn't my microphone." I didn't know whose microphone it was.
Right, but you saw it, but you didn't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, as we were walking out, I saw it there, and I thought, well, that's interesting, but I didn't. It didn't have a mic flag on it. Didn't look like it was attached to anything, so I didn't know if it was
somebody there in the park.
At the park, and that would have been awful of me to take something that didn't belong to me that belonged there at the park. So.
Right.
She said, well, but you can verify it was there. Well, I can verify at the moment of time when we walked out of the facility, it was sitting on the wall there. Now, beyond that, I have no knowledge of anything, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, we move on. There's a Powder Puff game today at Morris Field at 7 o'clock tonight. So,
yeah, it's the annual Powder Puff where the girls play football. It's the three classes, sophomore class against the junior class, and then I think the winner plays the senior class, or maybe it's a little round robin.
Mm-hmm.
Flag football. I've been doing it for a long time. I don't know how many years my boys were involved in it. And now my daughter is involved in it. She's not playing. She's the coach of the cheerleaders for the seniors.
Okay.
So I know all about it because there's been boys out at my house for the last, seemed like a month, in the evenings and practicing cheerleading.
There you go.
Probably hasn't been that long, but
So the girls play.
the girls play powder puff football.
And the boys are the
girls against the junior girls against the senior girls. And I don't know how the teams are picked. I don't remember how that's
So the
done.
boys are the cheerleaders, though.
But then there's boys that I think boys volunteer
Gotcha.
to be cheerleaders.
Gotcha.
And Andrew, I talked to my middle son yesterday after we ate lunch after church, and I asked him about, because I couldn't remember, Pam, my wife, had already asked Josh, you were involved in that? And he said, oh, yeah, but he didn't play. He didn't cheer. He was the coach of the senior girls.
Gotcha.
And Andrew said, yeah, they asked me to be a cheerleader, but I told him no. So he went and watched it when he was a senior.
Yeah.
And then Faith was asked to be by the boys to be the cheerleader coach, her and another cheerleader. So, yeah, it's just a fun thing they do every year.
Okay.
And I was always thinking it was just for seniors, but Faith said, well, there's going to be a sophomore team and a junior team, and
Okay.
that'll play the seniors or something.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, sounds like a lot of fun. Well, that's tonight at 7.
Right.
At Morris Field.
Right,
So.
and I'm sure anybody can go to it. I've never gone, but probably won't again. I mean, Faith will be yelling at boys to do their cheers and stunts. They even did stunts. It's crazy.
Well, good for them.
Because I've seen some of the stuff they've done in our backyard, so
yeah,
that's funny.
Good luck. Hope they have. Hope everybody has a good time tonight.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up with the Pecos Valley Bassmasters? Got some fishing coming up?
We got some fishing coming up. So this week is our, in conjunction with the final 2 tournaments for New Mexico Bass Nation, and they're fishing so our club fishing in conjunction with them with the state level. It's at Ute Lake and up in Logan, and we just talked about Logan boys won the baseball title.
Beat Gateway Christian.
But at Ute Lake, Saturday 1-day tournament, Sunday 1-day tournament. When we fish in conjunction with other bigger tournaments, we fish by their rules. So I'm going to be looking to get the blast-off times and weigh-in times out. Hopefully today. I normally send out all the information Sunday night or Monday morning early on our tournaments, but
you've been busy the last few days.
Well, plus been busy.
We were in Albuquerque for a few days.
Yeah, and so I'm going to be doing that today, though, getting our invoices out to our club members because they can fish, of course, our club tournament for entry fees, and then if they want to fish the state tournament, there's several of them that will be fishing both, and then there's some that'll just be fishing our tournament, and there may be some that just fish New Mexico Bass Nation. But whatever it is, I'm going to get the information emailed out this afternoon to our current membership, along with invoices for our tournaments. That way, they've got them; they can pay them if they want to fish. And we always require the entry fees to be paid by noon on Thursday. And I've also got to get with our tournament director, David Rutherford, and talk about some of that as far as the guys and ladies that don't fish New Mexico Bass Nation on term, and so that we can decide where they'll do their weigh-in, where they'll do everything for the club. And so our tournament director makes those decisions. So I'll get with him so he can tell me what to send out to membership. But so yeah, we've got 2 more tournaments this weekend, and then we've got one at the end of the month, or the 1st of June, I guess. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it'd be the 1st of June, I believe, at Brantley again. We'll have 2 in June at Brantley.
Well, that would be the 4th.
Okay, yeah, and I can't remember if it's that weekend or not, and that's neither here nor there. The big thing is this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the 2 tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're listening to this or you're watching on Facebook or watching on ksvptv.com and you say, hey, I want to fish, not too late to join our club. Go to pvbm.club, click on the Join tab. It's going to populate, or you're going to see a PDF. You click on that PDF, it'll populate. It is a fillable PDF. You can fill it in, or you can print it and then write it in, and then email it to Pecos Valley Bassmasters at hotmail.com. And then I will, from that, once I get your enrollment form, then I'll send you information, send out your invoice to pay for your dues, also send the invoice to pay for this weekend's tournament. So it's certainly not too late. If you don't want to fish New Mexico Bass Nation, you don't have to. You can just fish our 2 tournaments. It is an individual tournament, so the boaters will be fishing against the boaters in both tournaments in terms of New Mexico Bass Nation and Pecos Valley Bassmasters. And then the non-boaters will be fishing against the non-boaters, both tournaments. And then both days, so I say both tournaments, there's 2 tournaments and there's 2 different
divisions,
tournament levels. So you have local club and then the state level. And boaters catch 5 is their limit. Non-boaters 3 fish is their limit both days for both tournaments. So, and all that'll be in the information I send out. But people that are listening that say, well, I may want to do some fishing, I thought I'd share it here.
Yeah. So what would be if you're fishing in the Bass Nation tournament, where does that potentially take you? Or is there some different level of competition that you're now a part of if you do that along with the Bassmasters?
Right. So the New Mexico Bass Nation has 4 qualifying tournaments each year over 2 weekends. 2 one-day qualifying tournaments. And the idea is to make the top 10 to make the New Mexico Bass Nation traveling team.
Okay.
To then go on to the regionals, which just ended 2 weekends ago, I think. And they were in Oklahoma. And our team did well. But to make the regional, so we take the top, New Mexico Bass Nation takes the top 10 point getters on the boater side and the top 10 point getters on the non-boater side, so that each state in the United States has 10 teams go to their regionals, and then the top boater and the top non-boater from those tournaments then move on to the nationals. Plus, I think, I can't remember exactly, but plus the next 2, I can't remember how it works. So but anyway, yes, it's a level where you just bump up in levels. Each level, the better you do, if you win that one, then you can go on to the national level. And then the winner of the national level on the non-boater and boater side, individuals, gets to go to the Classic, the Bassmaster Classic, which is a goal for a lot of people. They want to fish the Classic one time, try to get there. You just can't go. I mean, you got to earn your way there some way. And so we had, every year we send, so our top two get to go on to the next level. And if they were able to win that, they would get to go to the Bassmaster Classic. So, but anyway, our team didn't do last year's team, which I was part of. I got to be a part of because I fished the qualifying tournaments, and I actually finished right outside of the top 10 on the non-boater side, but people couldn't go in it. So the alternates, moved up, and I was an alternate that moved into the top 10. And we actually won second at
the regional?
We won first. Yeah, we won as a team. I guess we won. I was about to say, I would think maybe we won first. But anyway, this year's team didn't finish quite as well, but had a good tournament. They were in Oklahoma. So that's what these two, our first 2 were back in March at Possum Kingdom in Texas for New Mexico Bass Nation, those 2 tournaments. And our club fished in conjunction with that. And then our last 2 are this coming weekend at Ute Lake here in New Mexico. So the top boaters and the top non-boaters, 10 in each, and you take your best 3 scores. So if you just fished one weekend, you're not going to make the top 10 because you need 3 really scores to get in that level.
So you need to try to do both weekends.
So you try to do both weekends. Then they drop your low score.
Right.
So you could have a bad tournament. That one don't count.
That just the top 3. But what you're fishing in this weekend is not for this year's team. It's for next year's team.
This year's team which was from last year. So yeah, we have our qualifying tournaments in 2022 to make the 2023 team.
Okay, so that's
what last year 2021 tournaments were for 2020. 2022 team. And we actually had 6 tournaments last year because of COVID and because we couldn't fish in New Mexico in 2020. We only had 2 qualifying tournaments for the 2021 team. We had them in 2021. We fished in February at Possum Kingdom, and that's the one team I made. And then we had 4 more tournaments in 2021
for this
year's team. That just went to Oklahoma and fished. So I talked to you on a Monday morning from Kansas on the boat in the blustery. Wind was blowing about 1,000 miles an hour and it was raining.
Yeah, and I
think we did a FaceTime. I think I actually even got on people.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, and it had snowed too, or it did that night. So.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because you've mentioned this term from time to time, pre-fish. What is pre-fishing? So
pre-fishing is going to the lake you're going to be fishing at before the tournament starts and getting on the water, locating fish, fishing. So we call it pre-fish because the tournament hadn't started. And a lot of times we have pre-fishing. So for example, this week is off limits until Friday. So if you're going to fish in either our tournament or the New Mexico Bass Nation or both, from I think yesterday, Sunday, till Thursday or Friday morning at daylight, there's no pre-fishing. Because that's, it presents an unfair advantage for people that maybe are retired. They could just go stay at the lake for a week and fish every day and really find some spots. And other people that work couldn't do that. So pre-fishing is that going out before the tournament and getting on the lake, looking at it, looking at spots, trying to find fish, and then being able to go back the next day and catch them.
Yeah. So no pre-fishing
this week until Friday.
Until Friday, and then the tournaments are Saturday and Sunday. But usually, being Friday, some people can get off early.
Well, people can plan easier. They could take a day off from work. It's a little easier than saying. So, most go pre-fishing. I mean, I would say 90% will go on a Friday.
Yeah.
I'm one of those 10% that always has got 1,000 things going, and so a lot of times I don't go till. And one of those things is always
Saturday morning.
Yeah, one of those things seems like it's KSVP.
Yeah.
Because I'll be doing games on Friday night and then won't leave.
We're done with games.
We're done now. So the
summer,
summer months, I usually go pre-fishing, but because we're done with games. But I like doing the radio stuff, so I'll give up the pre-fish day to travel all night.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, it's really enjoyable traveling with you and doing all these ball games, and we saw a lot of football and basketball and softball and volleyball and baseball, and you and Robbie did a fantastic job. Andy was a big help this year with the video editing, and so we really enjoyed doing that this year. I was hopeful we got a little bit further. Like you say, I think Artesia's expectations, because of prior results, tend to be a little bit higher than some. You pointed out something when we were playing Valley the second time. Nobody expected Valley to win the first time, and they did. I mean, they
beat us.
They won the game.
Yep.
And you noticed a slight difference in what the Valley parents were saying in the second game as Artesia had their lead, but that, nothing against them, nothing wrong at all. But the attitude went from we're the giant killers to
we weren't even supposed to be here.
We weren't even supposed to be here.
It's okay because we're not even supposed to be here. I mean, they really did change their tune when it was getting down to the end of the game.
Yeah, but totally understandable. And
sure.
Again, this is not a criticism or meant to be.
No, not at all. But it's just there is a difference. I mean, a lot of teams, not that Artesia doesn't think it's a great accomplishment to win district, because both the baseball and the softball teams won the district title. Football won district. Basketball won district. The boys did. I don't think the girls did, but they were there in the heat of it. A lot of teams, if they win district, that is huge for their school because they just don't do it very often. We do it so often, and it is a big deal. But it's not. I believe our coaches and our teams and the fans have that expectation. Let's win the state title.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it is necessarily at most high schools in New Mexico.
It was interesting. St. Pius went on to win the state tournament.
Right.
Lovington got shut out by Gallup.
Right. Right.
You never know.
You never know.
That's right. Joby, is there anything else you need to mention?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Go to pvbm.club.
Yep.
Learn more. Join up. It's summertime. Go fishing with the Pecos Valley Bassmasters.